and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome
We're
to
live.
another episode of Shop Talk, YouTube's premier off-the-clock appliance repair talk for off-the-clock appliance repair talk. Text. I'm your host with the most, Brother B, and you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And tonight we got a special guest. You've seen him. This guy's a somebody on the YouTube community. We're going to get to him in 1 second. But before we get to that, let's just get some quick news out the way. As you guys know, starting in June, please go to tmmacademics.com. Go to our courses tab. Hit the little arrow button. Look at our calendar and see what classes we have on which days we are live. Also, join our walkie-talkie group for our peer-to-peer networking, peer-to-peer tech support, and peer-to-peer morale. With all that out the way, again, tmmacademics.com. I'm your host with the most, Brother B. Now that that's out the way, let's get to the good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give this guy an introduction, because this guy is not a nobody. This guy's a somebody. I stumbled across this young man one time because, you know, when you do these videos and stuff, anything appliance repair related pops up on your screen. So this young man here has some phenomenal videos, but I've been watching the guy for so long that I remember his journey from day one to now. And I'm going to let him give it to you. So if you don't know, this is my brother, TK Cousins. Please check out his YouTube. He's going to introduce himself. I have nothing else to say. Brother TK, the floor is all yours.
Welcome. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me. It's good to be, I guess, considered as somebody in the YouTube appliance community. Yeah, I mean, I first started doing the YouTube videos because I saw your videos. They inspired me to do it, and then I saw the I don't remember, he doesn't do videos anymore, but it's I think it's like Pretty Boy Appliance Repair or City Boy Appliance Repair or something like that. He had a bunch of videos, and I started doing videos because I haven't been in appliance repair as long as a lot of people think I have, but as soon as I got into it and I saw other people making videos, I was like, well, I'm going to just make videos. And as I learn, people will learn, and we'll all learn together and fail forward together.
Well, brother, listen, man, I just want to let you know that your videos have been A1 from day one. Some in particular, and please go ahead, talk about it, where you didn't start as a technician, right? You began selling parts from appliances. Am I correct?
Yeah, basically, well, I started off, it's kind of a long story. I'll give you the quickest version I can.
Talk about it.
When I was growing up, I did ceramic tile. I was a floor installer. I did commercial tile work, laying floors, stuff like that. And you know, I kind of thought, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be in construction my whole life. When I was in my mid-20s, I was became a part of a really big church here in Richmond, and actually ended up working for the church. And I don't know how all churches are, but the church that I was at, we didn't get paid very much. So what I started doing was I started hustling on the side, selling used appliances, just really anything I could do. Fast forward 5 or 6 years, I'm no longer with the church that I used to work for, started my own contracting company doing kitchen and bathroom remodeling. Got tons of stuff like that, but then the economy slowed down. There was no work. And I was getting appliances doing the contracting, but there was no work. You know, you go in and renovate a kitchen, they're getting all new appliances. You take the old ones, you're not going to throw them away, you're going to sell them. So that's what I was doing for a while. And once work slowed down, I actually started doing free junk removal and like foreclosure cleanouts and just whatever I had to do to hustle to get money. And I was getting tons and tons of broken appliances, and I was scrapping them. I was taking them to the scrapyard because I didn't know how to fix them at the time. So a buddy of mine who owns a company here in Richmond, an appliance company. He told me, he's like, man, you're throwing thousands and thousands of dollars away and you're getting pennies per pound. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, but you know, I don't know how to fix it. He's like, man, I'll help you. He helped me, started showing me some stuff. I started learning some stuff on YouTube. My buddy was like, man, you kind of got a knack for this. You want to do an apprenticeship? And I was like, absolutely. You know, he was like, it didn't pay very good at the time because he was doing me a favor training me, but he did pay me as I went. And,
Mhm.
you know, I worked for him for about a year and he helped me start my business. And after that was a wrap. I mean, there was a lot of struggles, you know, doing the business part of it. But as far as leading up to it, that's the quick story of it. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but I'm just thankful that my buddy took me under his wing. And, you know, the cool thing about the community here in my area is none of us are cutthroat. Like I'm friends with just about every good technician in the area. They have my number, I have their number, and we're all friends and we all work together. And if they need something, I'm there for them. And I talk about it in my videos a lot, networking with your local techs. They're not your enemies. You know, they are your competition, but they're not necessarily your enemies.
Okay, brother, let's back up. Man, you touched on so many good things. I don't know where to start. So let me go back to the part about the church. So
Mm-hmm.
you're in the church, and now you say you were getting used appliances. How were you getting used appliances from the
I was
church?
I was doing scrap metal. I was doing scrap metal as well, and I would put ads on Craigslist, free appliance removal, free
Ah,
scrap metal removal, and people
got
would
it.
call me up, say, "Hey, I got an old washer." Some of them worked, some of them didn't. The ones that didn't work, I'd just take them to the scrap yard. The ones that worked, I'd take them home, plug them up. If the dryer heated, it got sold. I didn't know how to test anything. I didn't know how to do anything. But I just started flipping the you know the scrap appliances that I would get, and our thrift store, actually our church had two thrift stores, and they would get a lot of appliances. And there was actually a guy at one of the thrift stores. The church I went to had homes for people coming off of drugs and alcohol and homeless people and stuff like that. And the people that lived in the homes would stay in the or would work at the thrift store. Well, one of the guys knew how to fix appliances, and he would actually fix some up for me, and I'd, you know, kick him a few dollars, and then I'd turn around and flip them.
Okay, so then fast forward, you get with your pal and you start this apprenticeship. Now you said something that was short in stature but holds weight. And you said he paid you very little, but he was doing you the favor. As a
Absolutely.
as an entrepreneur myself, I have had technicians in all scope levels where guys they were like beast SEAL Team 6, they did everything, microwave, SEAL 6, whatever. And then I had guys that don't know anything and everything in between. So that apprenticeship, like how can how can I pay you big bucks if you're not number one generating big bucks? You don't know anything. You're costing me. I'm
Yep.
literally paying to train you with no guarantee that you're gonna stay, no guarantee that you're gonna stick around. So a lot of guys they may have to start at the bottom. We all did. We all did.
Yep.
And you may it's gonna pay off in the long run, but you gotta start somewhere. And Rome wasn't built in a day. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so fast forward, you're getting the appliances now. The guy tells you you're throwing them away. What are you, nuts? You say, okay, I'm gonna learn. You learn from the YouTube. Now you're what? Picking parts or flipping appliances?
A little bit of both. I sold. I didn't sell as many used parts as I did used appliances. I was selling tons of used appliances. I had a 2-car garage, and that thing was just packed filled with appliances, and I was selling. I mean, some days I'd sell 4 or 5 units a day, and some days I would sell, you know, just a few. But I was selling appliances steady. Plus, I was selling furniture. I was selling random stuff on eBay because I didn't. When I was doing it, you'll notice in the beginning of my videos, I always call myself Appliance Guy Picker. Because
Mm-hmm.
I got into this as a picker. I used to love
Mm-hmm.
going to the auctions, the thrift
Mm-hmm.
stores. I had an eBay store. I was a top-rated eBay seller. I had an Amazon store, and I just loved the hustle. And my original dream was to be a full-time online seller. That's what I wanted to do. And I was like, I'm gonna be a full-time online seller, and I did try to do it. But I don't know if you noticed, but I have 5 children, so you gotta sell a lot of you
Man,
gotta sell a lot of stuff on eBay to support 5 children. I'd much rather run my 6 or 8 calls a day and come home.
you're a lucky man to have so many kids. You're a lucky man. Now,
Oh yeah.
let me ask you something. So you're picking parts. I want to talk about that. A lot of guys don't notice. And I said it over and over and over. It's just that I don't have time because I'm in the field. But like if I could be in the office somewhere or if I had some free time, man, you can part things down and make a pretty penny. They have a machine called the GE Harmony, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a washer. That touchpad is no NLA. And the retail on it is something like $300 or something. You can
Yep.
sell that easily for 125. Easily for
Yeah,
125.
that's the LG built unit. It's built by LG. They built it
Yeah.
for GE. And the
Yes.
and the washer actually communicates with the dryer.
The
It's
drive.
every
Yes.
time I go and see one of those units, it's never hooked up. They're never hooked up to each other. It's like the
Mhm.
customer doesn't even know what they have.
Mhm.
It's like, well, you know, these can talk to each other, right? And they're like, oh, really? I didn't know that.
Brother, listen, there's money to be made in picking. But the only thing is that it's like a long-term hustle. And stop
Yes.
me where my assumptions are not valid. But like that's not a like every day you're gonna make a quota, you can build a budget around that's more like I would assume like a spare hobby that's very profitable. What's your
Yes.
thoughts?
Absolutely. eBay in general, because here's the thing, I got parts in my shed right now that I need to sell on eBay. And my wife always asks me, well, why don't you just try to sell them locally on Facebook or Craigslist? You're not going to sell that kind of stuff on Facebook or Craigslist. You're going to sell it on eBay and you're going to sell it on Amazon. And for me, it's exactly what you said. It's not you list a control board on there and it sells the next day. You might list a control board on there and it sells 6 months from now. Now I have listed things on eBay before and they sold in 10 minutes. But those are highly sought after items. And it's just like anything. You think about it, eBay, Amazon, it's just another market. And just like any other market, the things that are selling the quickest are the things that we use the most, the control boards, the timers. I was kind of picky about what I would sell online. I never sold water valves. I never sold drain pumps. Anything that had to do with water, I didn't sell it because for me, it was just too much liability. But like boards, timers, anything all the way down to the feet on the bottom of a direct drive um,
Mm.
dryer, or not a direct drive dryer, the dryer that matches the direct drive washer. Everything down to the feet on those,
Is that
I'd sell it.
the screw in
The
little
the little
plastic?
screw in, yeah. I mean, you can
Yeah.
sell all that stuff, but it's time consuming. It's not it's not quick money, but like I said, there is money in selling parts, but there's, in my personal opinion, I'm sure you can agree with this. There's a lot more money in doing service for me.
Okay. Before we get into service, I want to get into selling the used appliances. But before we get to that, I want to ask you one more question. One more question about picking.
Oh yeah.
Realistically, because this has always been a theory, a passion of mine. I'm assuming that if I ran a well-built eBay channel and I had about 2 hours to dedicate to it daily, and I inventoried my whole garage and I have all my parts accounted for, and I take pictures of them, very nice, everything well descriptive. That probably take me 6 months to a year before the crap that I got. But when I'm done, and it's a fine built machine, what kind of numbers, roughly, low, middle, end, can a gal look at from somebody that has experience? That's always playing my mind. Like, man, if I
Picking
could
parts and selling them on eBay
and offer up.
and on offer up.
Yeah, because I like offer up too, and I get some stuff on there. You'd be surprised. And let go. That's another one too. I don't know if you heard of that one.
I mean, there's people. You got to remember, like, when someone shows you their 30-day sales on eBay, there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration other than that number. But this topic has came up in the Appliance Apprentice group, the Facebook group that I admin. And I mean, there's one lady on there that posted a screenshot. She was doing $30,000 a month selling used appliances, and I think she
Used appliance,
specializes
used
in sell
appliances or
used
part.
parts. Used parts. I'm sorry. She's
$30,000 used parts.
Yep. And she showed the screen. She showed us a screenshot. But you got to take into consideration what all that entails and how much, how much is going to eBay, how much you're putting
That's true.
out,
That's
all
true.
these different things to take into consideration. Where, like me, when I was doing eBay and selling just tons of different stuff. I mean, I sold everything from stuffed animals to blender parts. I sold parts for like household blenders, household vacuums. I sold anything. Like, I didn't care. If I can make money off of it, I sold it. And I think my best month was like 10,000 maybe. But that wasn't 10,000 profit. Like, if I maybe made 6 off of it or something like that. So when someone shows you a 30-day total on eBay and it's whatever, they're not taking home that amount of money. But you can make money. I'd say on the low end, if you're just doing it as a hobby, you can easily bring in a couple extra $100 a month, maybe even a couple extra thousand. But if you're dedicated to it, I mean, there's people out there doing $30,000, $40,000 a month on eBay. If you'd like to know more about selling on eBay, there's actually a really good Facebook Facebook group called the Resellers Society.
Talk about
Um,
it. Talk
it's
about it.
just it's just a group of resellers. I mean, there's a whole big world out there of eBay resellers, and they sell everything from um, you know, weird fetish stuff that sells on eBay all the way down to, the stuff that you would buy at the grocery store. And I was really, really into that for a while. But like I said, it's more of a hobby thing that I want to get back into and keep as a hobby, and keep my business strictly appliances. And if I sell stuff on eBay, it's just fun money and vacation money. I actually got my mom into eBay too. She was selling on eBay for a while.
Okay. Now, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna consider that. But brother, I want to get now into, because I know your time is limited, and we still got some time. So, but I don't want to dedicate all of it to eBay. I want to talk now about your selling appliances. Tell me about your operation. How did it work? Talk about it.
Well,
Hmm.
I was uh, it was a bunch of stuff going on in my life at the time, as far as like where I was living. But the house I'm in right now, my mom was living in, and she had a 2-car garage. I didn't have a garage where I was at. I just had a little shed. So I used my mom's garage as like my headquarters, and I just
Hmm.
basically ran everything out of there, whether it was appliances, furniture, or whatever. And I never had like an actual shop or anything. I just hustled everything right out of the garage. I'd put it on Facebook. I'd put it on Craigslist. And, people would call, say, hey, I'm interested in the washer. I'm interested in, this washer dryer set or this fridge. I didn't do much other than washers, dryers, and fridges. Dishwashers don't sell used very well. They're like the black sheep of the used appliance repair industry. And then stoves are one of those things that when I got them, I'd sell them, but mostly washers, dryers, and fridges.
Let me ask you something. In comparison to the furniture, blenders, exotic fetish stuff, whatever,
I didn't sell those. I said people do sell them.
whatever, you're the type of guy that'll sell water. No, you'll sell fire in hell if we
Yeah,
let you.
absolutely.
But
You
listen,
got to.
if everything, you got this big gamut of things that you're selling, of everything. Be honest now. How did appliances rank in comparison to most of the stuff you had? The washers, dryers, and refrigerators, as opposed to like your beds and all the other stuff.
Appliances were my fastest move. Used appliances were my fastest moving. And I sold more appliances than anything. That was my number one money maker. Second, close second was used furniture. I had a big van with a trailer. I'd go to where I live, have auctions at the Goodwill and at the Salvation Army. And the Goodwill and Salvation Army sell off stuff that either like for instance, Salvation Army doesn't sell appliances. So any appliance that gets donated goes straight to the auction. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I live, they do an auction every morning. So every morning, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'd be at the auction, empty van, empty trailer, and I'd, spend a couple $100, load my truck up. And the beauty of it was I took what I wanted, and whatever I didn't want, you just leave there and they throw it away for you. So I go up there and load my truck up with appliances, furniture, rocking chairs, couches, whatever, take it home, put it all out in the driveway, take pictures of it, make sure all the appliances work, and get them on out the door.
Now, did you sell them with a warranty?
I did. At first, I didn't. When I first started and I didn't know anything, I didn't know how to fix them or anything, there was no warranty. It was like, hey, I'm just a guy selling appliances out of my garage. You don't get a warranty. But then I did started doing a 60-day warranty. But with that, I also started charging more. When I started doing the 60-day warranty, I started charging more. And, people like that, though. They like knowing that, if something happens, I'm either gonna thank you, buddy. I'm either gonna replace it or, fix it.
Yeah. And thank God that most of these platforms allow ratings. So like just like the service, you can't go out there and do buffoonery because they'll, leave you a 1-star review or whatever. The same thing applies to a lot of these major retail online selling websites. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you something. Did you do delivery and all that?
Yep. Curbside.
Oh, so you didn't take it up to the house and all that?
Nope. I
That's
basically
not shabby though. Curbside.
yeah, $50 curbside delivery, and at the I got to a certain point where I was really, really busy, and I was not doing as much delivery. I was like, look, you just got to come pick it up. But when I was really going and just doing whatever, I would deliver appliances. I'd pick up people's used appliances that they were just getting rid of. I mean, if I was slow, I'd just ride around and look for appliances. I'd ride
And
down the road.
would you find them?
Yeah. I've got stories I could tell you about that. I went to a dude's house. I pull up to the guy's house. Got a dryer sitting in his driveway. I got set Whirlpool washer and dryer that work on my trailer. I'm driving down the road. I see the dryer. I stop. The guy's in the driveway. I say, "Hey man, you getting rid of that dryer?" He's like, "Yeah, man, that thing crapped out on me, and my washer's going out too." And I said, "Well, man, I'll haul it off for you right now." And so I hopped out, start talking to him, end up selling him the two on my van that were in my trailer. I think I sold them for like 300, 350 for the set. Took his, got him out of the house for him, helped him get him out of the house, put him on the van, sold him the two that were on mine, and then took his home, cleaned them up, fixed them. I think his I'm trying to think his washer needed a drain pump, and I think his dryer needed a thermostat, and turned around and flipped those. So it was always easy to ride around and find appliances, because even nowadays when I'm riding around, I'm always looking, just because it's second nature to me. And you see something in somebody's driveway and you're like, that's easy money. All you need is a pickup truck and a little bit of know-how.
Brother, damn, you know what? You're inspiring me, man. I gave up on, well, I didn't give up on it, but I've been just so consumed with repairs that like I gave up on sales, man, because repairs is a beast unto its own. But
I gave up on sales too.
well, I want to talk about it. I there was a time in my earlier beginnings, I was a lot more ambitious. Now I put my ambition towards YouTube. But before this, I used to sell. And I'll tell you a quick story of mine. So one time there was a guy getting rid of a washer and a dryer with pedestals. They were LG Troms. This was in the upper echelon area. Get this, the guy was selling them because his wife wanted new appliances. He's selling them for $100. I bought it for $100, took them back to my wife. Now, it was a time that a lady had like a beat up dryer or whatever, right? I mean, really raggedy. One of those old school whirlpools that have the two screws on the top by the lint filter, and you pop the top up and the door comes off, whatever, whatever. Well, she had one of them, and I quoted her something like, I don't remember, but I told her like, ma'am, I sell appliances. I could give you a brand new, well, not brand new, but a very nice LG Trom with pedal. I sold it for $400, and I still had the washer. And then the washer, I had a lady that had a bearing issue or something. And I told her, ma'am, it's not economical to do the repair, but I got a washer that I can sell you for 400. It has pedestals. It's nice. I'll give you a year warranty. She said, sure. So I paid 100 for that set and made 800.
Wow, that's
Well, no,
awesome.
because you got to take away the 100. So there's money to be made if you keep a washer, dryer, and a refrigerator on standby, and you get a customer that got a on the fritz unit, and you can sell one of yours as opposed to condemning it and just collecting the service fee. There's something to be said about that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that I've talked about it in my videos before is I would love to have a little shop where I sell, parts and used appliances. But it's just one of those things that's going to come in time. But that's exactly why I want to do it, is because at the end of the day, if you're in a house, I mean, we have to condemn machines from time to time. It's just the nature of the beast. And if I can sell the person a good used washer and dryer, then I feel like I'm doing them a great service, because we all know the older stuff is better to begin with.
Talk about it. Now, brother, here comes the next big question I gotta ask you. In your sales, with a gentleman like yourself and your expertise, a guy that commits himself full time to that. That's what he does 40 hours a week. Drives around, picks up appliances, dumps them in his garage, fixes them up, sells them, takes pictures, eBay, Craigslist, blah, 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 all what on a good middle, like you're not really, man, you got to step your game up. Realistically, a guy of your expertise, what can an individual be looking at?
Used appliances?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers. I'm gonna give you my best guess, because because for me it was such a conglomeration of different things I was selling, and I'm not the bookkeeper type. I'm not good at keeping track of this was this and this was that. But I would say a good week I could do appliance sales. I think because it's been a while. I'm trying to think of what my best week was when I was selling used appliances. I know one week I sold like 30 units one week. And I don't work on weekends, so that's 5 days.
Oh wow, look at you. Pardon me.
Yeah, I'm big on taking off at least 2 days a week, but um, it, I mean, you can do on a good week, you can sell units, and you figure you're getting at least $200 a unit, or less. I mean, you always get that junkier looking old unit that you sell for 100, 150. We figure 20, 30 units a week, around $200 a unit. That's decent money.
Well, we gotta do the math.
Oh, we're
20,
break. Yeah.
20
So
times
let's say
200.
20 times 200. You're looking at 4 G's.
That's $4,000.
That's if you got the stock, though. If you have a
True.
two-bay
Talk
garage
about it. Talk
filled
about
with
it.
appliance, if you got a 2-bay garage filled with appliances, you can sell 20, 30 units a week, and that's a good week.
And let's also add.
But then next week you might sell. So it's hit or miss, But I sold a lot of used appliances, but what came with selling used appliances was just absolutely destroyed. Like I have real bad back issues, probably from laying tile for the first 15 years of my professional career. I mean, I was doing tile work by the time I was 10 years old. The kid down the street, my best friend, his dad was a tile contractor, and I started working with him when I was knee high to a grasshopper. But yeah, I mean, you can make good money in it, but it's not, for me, it was hit or miss, because as you can probably already tell from talking to me, I have extreme ADD. So I'll get on one thing and then I'll get on to another thing, and I'll have, 10 things going on at one time. And I think one thing that service really did for me was help me focus in on art. I'm a service technician now. I'm not doing all this other stuff. I'm focused on, growing the appliance guy and making it what, I feel like it's going to be one day.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue. Excellent segue. So just to ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. We got YouTube royalty in the building. TK, please make sure y'all go to his channel. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe, and please share his videos. This guy knows what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I've been trying to get this guy on for a while now. It's just timing. But anyway, let's get caught up now. Now, brother, I got a little story about you. I remember. No, a good one, brother. I remember you. You see, brother, I've been watching you and following you for so long. I saw your whole progression. I seen when you started from, what was it, like a white Plymouth Voyager or something?
Oh, the Buick Terraza.
Hey,
it was a blue Buick Terraza.
Hey, you had it decked out. You even have a video on like how you did it that got a few K views, man.
Yeah, I love that van, man. I got a big Chevy 2500 now, and every once in a while I'm like, man, I miss my little Buick Terraza.
Okay, so now you're like, you know what? Screw the sales, screw the picking. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. I want to go into the customer's home. Now, number one, I want to congratulate you because that takes a lot of guts that a lot of people aren't willing to do. But how'd you get number one? Well, you said your apprentices with the guy in what city you from?
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, shout out to the Virginia brothers. If you're watching, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. So you're in Richmond now. So you get some training doing the apprentice program with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So now you say, okay, I've been around appliances, I've sold them, I've torn them apart, put parts on eBay. I feel confident that I can go into the customer's home. Tell me about that. I want to know about that.
Well, it was terrifying at first, and not for a lack of that. I didn't know what I was doing because I had what I consider really good training from the guy who taught me. But it's one thing to do it when you have somebody with you there training you, but then when you're on that first call and the customer's standing over you and you're fumbling, you're scratching your head like, I think I remember how this one comes apart. And it's one of those things, but you just gotta play it cool. You gotta and I talk about this on my video from day one. Be honest. You know what?
Yeah.
They're gonna, if you're green, they're gonna know you're green. So be honest and let
Amen.
them know you're green. And I always would tell people if I went on something and I wasn't sure, I used to always tell them, I'd say, look, I gotta get some more information on this particular unit. I said, but don't worry, I'm gonna get you all taken care of, and I would always guarantee that it's going to get fixed and it's going to get fixed right. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to fix it and I'm going to fix it right. But when you first get out there, I'm sure you remember when you first started doing
Oh,
calls, it's a little bit intimidating. I mean, you're sitting
sure.
there. This customer is expecting you to be a professional and know your stuff. And a lot of times, honestly, I didn't. And, I got to go out to the truck and look up something. You go out there, you call a buddy, or you're on YouTube searching and Googling. And I mean, it's just what it is. And
Yo,
it's like
yo, that's all real
failing,
talk.
failing forward.
You're a real tech, man. I know you are. You are a real one. Hey, that couldn't be more true, man. Especially the ones that like they pull up a chair and sit there and observe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
God forbid if it's an elderly person. If one screw falls, they'll run up to you. They'll be like, here's the screw. And then they'll ask you over a million times, is everything okay? What is it? What is it? Meanwhile, you're on like appliantology looking at like the
Yeah.
schematic, trying to figure out how to get it in diagnostic mode.
Yeah,
And they're
exactly.
well
Yep.
to the guy or gal watching this, what's your advice to them that are going through that or haven't been through that or that's their state of affairs right now? What would you tell
I'll
them?
I'll just reiterate what I said a few minutes, and that's what I say all the time. Just be honest. If you're green, they're gonna know you're green, and if you go in there and you try to baffle them with your bullshit, then they're gonna see through it, and they're gonna be like, this kid does. I'll give you a perfect example. I went out on a they had just bought a used gas range, this older
Yeah,
couple, and I was
yeah,
there on a referral from a buddy of mine that's a plumber. He said, hey, this old couple just bought a new gas range, and they said that it's getting too hot or something like that. So I go out there and I take it apart and I pull the pan off and I'm looking at the burner, and I go and I light it, and poof, I mean that thing flames up like a freaking
is your eye
flamethrower.
is your
Yeah,
eyelash?
it almost did. And get this, the whole
That
time,
happened.
the customers, grandma and grandpa are right behind me with flashlights over my shoulder, shining flashlights over my shoulder, probably not even a foot away from me. And I'm still extremely new. I mean, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know about like LP and natural gas conversions and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the unit was actually set for, I believe it was gas, and they were on propane, or vice versa. I can't remember at the right now, but I didn't know that at the time. And I ran out to the truck, and I was like, I might have to get somebody else to come over here and meet me or something, because this is serious. It'll blow these people's house up. So I called somebody. Like, oh yeah, you just gotta crank down on the orifice. It'll be fine. Went in there, cranked down that orifice, set it
Yo,
to the right setting. Boom, it was fixed.
yo,
So, and I
that's
told him, like I
amazing.
said, I was honest. I told him, I said, look, I've never seen this before. I was like, but I'm gonna run out to the truck real quick, and I'll come back and let you know what I find out, because at the end of the day, nobody knows everything. You don't.
Yeah.
I've been doing it now for, I think this is my 5th year in business, so I've been kind of in it for about, I guess, 7 or 8 years, and I learn stuff every single day. I learn new things every single week.
Me too, brother. Me too. Huh. Me too. Okay, so now, brother, I like your story, man. You got an amazing story. All right, so now you go from the Buick. I don't want to say the wrong name, but now I seen your journey. I seen you step the whole game up. So you get into the Chevy. Now you got shelves, and now you're front line, and you're full time, and you got your uniform. You change your YouTube. You're a real tech now. I got 2 questions for you. 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, tell me your learning curve as to like being a owner now, because now you're responsible for making the phone ring. You don't got to get into
Mm-hmm.
names of who you use and all that, but you got to get your phone to ring. You got to know your invoicing. You just got a new van. That insurance ain't cheap. There's gas. I know you're spending 30-40 bucks gas by every day or every other day. So now you got all these things piling up. What was that pressure like? How'd you deal with that? And what was that learning curve like?
Um, that learning curve was basically me eventually. I did a little Zoom meeting with my Facebook group the other night, and we talked about this. The learning curve that I learned, or the biggest thing I learned through that whole process, was that I can't do everything, and that I needed to start. If I was going to focus on training my apprentice and growing the business, I can't be answering phones. I can't be doing home warranty invoicing and authorizations and calls. I can't be doing all the secretary and CSR stuff.
You only
So
one man.
I hired a secretary, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the greatest decision that I ever made.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you're learning the
Hey,
business.
hang on 1 second, buddy.
It's
Are
all
you
yours.
going to bed?
Mhm.
Give me a hug.
Give your dad a hug.
Say hi to Facebook. I mean,
YouTube.
Brandon,
YouTube.
YouTube. This is my son.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
He doesn't want to be an appliance repair. He wants to develop video.
What is
We'll
he
see
gonna
what he
do?
wants to do once he wants to be a video game designer. Show him your face, son.
Hey, brother, what's
That's
up?
TK the third.
There you
That's
go.
my oldest son. Love you, buddy.
Let him, hey,
Um,
let him know that I play video games, Call of Duty.
hey, he loves those video games. He plays Fortnite, and that's the dumbest freaking game I've ever played in my life.
Now, mind you, I love Call of Duty, but I play it once a year because I'm too busy. But anyway, hey,
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
no, no problem, brother. No problem, man. You're a lucky man. You know, I love your get up. I like your vibe, your family. It's cool, man. All right. So now you hired a CSR. You're doing full-time repairman. Now let's talk about now, you know, You're training. You do everything. You do microwave, seal system. What don't you
No, I
do?
don't do sealed systems.
You don't
I
do
don't
seal.
do I don't do any sealed system work. And I talked about this. It's been one of those things for me. First of all, the guy that trained me didn't work on sealed systems. Now the guy who trained me, his dad is one of the only authorized technicians in our area, and all he does is work on sealed systems. So
He's
anytime yeah, he's got a nice little gig. But anytime I have 5% of the sealed systems I see are LGs with a bad compressor. And I mean, I see them on a almost daily basis. I saw one yesterday. Don't do sealed systems. I don't work on high-end appliances, which that's something I have a lot of interest in. I do Samsung and LG, which is two brands that a lot of guys don't do in my area. The guy who trained me didn't do Samsung. And there's one guy in my area that I befriended and I reached out to, and he's an awesome guy. His name's Scott Holt. Shout out to Scott if you watch this. He's a member of the Facebook group too. And he took me under his wing. I mean, the people in the appliance industry were so good to me. All the technicians that are locally that are running really good quality businesses, they were just if I needed something, they were there for me. They didn't know me from Adam. But he would come out and show me some things. He'd help me out, and so I learned a lot about Samsung. I still hate their dishwashers with a passion.
Mm.
But those Samsung refrigerators are going to at least put one of my kids through college, so I'm down with that.
Oh man, that thermistor and drain kit.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So brother, listen. Sealed systems. I hate to be a plug here, but we're serious over here at TMM Appliance Network. I don't know if you've been following the channel for a while, but I got a business partner, my brother Rick. This guy's a 30+ year instructor in whatever. Him,
Yeah.
there's another brother named David, and myself. Man, you know how many of those LGs I do in a week and whatever. So anyway, we got this TMM academics thing, and for $24.99, basically, we're offering 4 virtual classes monthly, okay? And then one of those topics is sealed systems. So we're going to be doing a whole sealed system course. It's coming up in June. Check it out, man. I think you would benefit
Absolutely.
from that. There's
I
so much money to be made in sealed systems. And the thing about sealed systems is you learn sealed systems, you could work on freezers, wine coolers, beverage centers, top mount, bottom mount, dual evap, single evap, commercial, don't matter.
Yeah.
Don't matter. And bro, the money. So,
So good, huh?
oh man, it's a nice little baby. But anyway, check that out. Okay, so you don't do seal systems, fine, but we're gonna change that, right? But you do microwaves, washers, dryers, Samsung, LG, the whole kit and caboodle. So what's
Mm-hmm.
your current situation like now? We're coming up on about 12 minutes to the hour here. What's your current situation like? Are you a single guy? You got multi-techs, you're looking for a tech. What's the deal now?
So basically where I'm at right now is I have my first apprentice that me and the guy who trained me have been training. We've been basically what we had did up until this coronavirus craziness. He would ride with me for a week, and then he'd ride with my buddy for a week. Then he'd ride with me and we'd basically take turns training up this guy. He'd pay him for a week. I'd pay him for a week. So he's all trained up and ready to go. And all we got to do is get a van and put him in a van, and he's gonna just run calls for both of us. I'll feed him some calls, and my other buddy will feed him some calls, and he'll have his own, van and run calls for both of us, and kind of get it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Brother TK Cousins is the epitome of the American dream, brother TK. Can I tell you? I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So I was trying to get a hold of you for a while now. Now, if you go through the very beginning of my shop talk segments, you're gonna see that there's another brother called TK White. But shout out to my brother TK White. I went on Facebook and I looked up TK whatever whatever, and TK White came up. I did a whole interview with that guy, and I was like, "You're not the TK cousins I was looking for." But it ain't the best. Shop Talk 7. Shout out to my brother TK White. But brother, I've
That's
been
awesome.
trying.
I think I might be Facebook friends with that guy, or
But
he's
brother,
part of. He might be a part of the Facebook group that I run.
brother, well. The good thing about us is we're a small community. So like when you know one or two guys, you know one or two guys that he knows, and so forth and so on. But brother, I've been trying to get you on the show here for a while, man. And I seen your whole journey. I seen you and you went from appliance picker to you changed it. Now you got your van. You got a tech, brother. Man, I'm proud of you, man. You're a true testimony to the power and the realness of what appliance repair could do. Now, before we end tonight,
Thank you.
I gotta ask you two more questions, maybe three, two more. What's the plan now? Where do you see yourself in a few years? Talk about it.
Uh, I hope in a few years that I am doing a lot more. I'm doing a lot more training and a lot less in the field. Because I want to get some techs going, and I hope to start giving. One of my dreams is to help people that just need an extra hand up. Some of the people that society hasn't has either have had a bad. People with former drug problems or people that have been in jail, felons. I feel like people like that need an extra try, and I feel like the appliance trade is a good trade for people that need to
Redemption.
just have a redemption and have a second chance at life. So I'd really like to do a lot of training. I'd like to work. I've been talking with some different companies that have reached out to me through YouTube and Facebook that are interested in doing training. I did some work with Nana. I don't know if you've ever heard of Nana before, but they're an appliance company out in the West Coast. I've spent some time with those guys, and we've talked about doing some training. I want to make some much more professional videos and just work on growing the appliance guy or whatever businesses that I get involved in or put out there to be more geared towards really solid training as well as keeping techs on the street and keeping techs with jobs, because at the end of the day, there's no shortage of broken appliances out there, and the more techs that I can get on the street, the more money we can all make, and I really want to make it to where in my business the techs are treated really, really well, and they have no reason to go anywhere else. Which I know that's not always going to be the case. People are going to leave, but I want to have the same view that I have about my customers that I do about my techs. Treat them good, and they'll treat me good. You know what I'm saying?
Dope, dope. Brother, hey man, I just want to let you know, man, that I'm a fan. I definitely hit the subscribe button with you. We miss you. You've
Yeah, I need to
abandoned.
start putting some videos
You
back
got,
on you. I've
got
been I've been focusing on this Facebook group more, and I'll be honest, man, since this whole coronavirus thing hit, like I haven't been doing much of anything with YouTube or so. Like I'll get on social media, but I've just been enjoying being with my family and just things in life. But I'm gonna get back on it for sure.
talk about your Facebook group. Now's your chance, man. Promote them. What's the name of the
Yeah,
channels? You said a few tonight. I lost count. You
yeah.
said resellers, and then you said there was one that you run.
Yeah, the group that I run is the Appliance Apprentice group.
I'm gonna start
And
myself.
and it basically, one of the other pages, there's several good ones. Appliance Pro Talk is a great one. Appliance Technician Group is a great one. The Re-Engineers page is a great one. But one thing I noticed in all these groups was, guys that were more green would get on there and ask questions, and they would just get bombarded by these guys and just ridiculed and belittled, and
Mm,
because
that's
yeah,
not
they were
good.
asking
That's
they
not
were
good.
asking questions that technicians should know, but there's a proper way to handle that. So I was like, well, we need to make a group. I just posted it one day. I was like, we need to make a group for for apprentices. And so
Definitely.
everybody was like, that's a good idea or whatever. And so I just did it, and it just took off. I don't know how many. I don't even keep track of how many people are a member of it, but it's just a place. And basically, are you a member of any of the appliance Facebook groups?
Brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate Facebook because it sends me so many notifications through the day that I delete my Facebook, but I gotta get on Facebook because apparently there's some really good communities out there, and I'm not privy to them because I'm not on Facebook, but I am on Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. But no, I have a Facebook now, but I'm gonna get on there, and I don't even know my password. I'm gonna sign into your thing and definitely contribute. But brother, may I touch on that subject about the apprenticeship and the way guys conduct themselves? I have two things to that. Number one, I'm not a fan of guys that belittle other guys because they don't know. It's not a dick measuring contest.
Right.
It's not about, I know more than you. That's irrelevant because we all started green, so that's not cool. But I will say at the same breath, I don't have a lot of tolerance for a guy that gets on there and says, "Hey, I'm on a job, the fridge is not cool. What do I do?" I'm not digging that either. I think there needs to be a fine line. And what the fine line is, get the model number, put it up, give some of the symptoms and some of the observations that you saw and some of the steps that you've taken. And then we can have a conversation. So
Absolutely.
I
If
think that
you,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, if you go to my group right now, there's an announcement pinned, and it said, this is what it says. It says, from now on, if you have a specific question about a unit, the make, model typed out and what you have already done must be posted in the original post. If not, the post will be removed. Some people aren't doing due diligence. Thanks. And it's exactly what you're talking about. Here's the thing: There's two problems going on. One, the apprentices and green techs aren't doing their due diligence, and two, people go on there and they post a symptom or they post this, that, or the other, and then people just tell them what part is wrong. Don't tell them what part is wrong. Tell them how to figure out what part is wrong, and tell them the proper procedures to properly diagnose something. Because anybody can go out there and basically just look at the unit and say, oh, well, it's not doing this, it's always this. That's not diagnosing, that's not troubleshooting. That's basically being a parts changer. And
Yeah.
we all do it. I've done it. And sometimes you go out there and you do know absolutely what it is, but when they're green, they need to know the procedures, and they need to know how to properly troubleshoot and test and use their meter and do things right. Not, oh, it's not doing this, change this.
Brother, say the groups one more time for the audience. What's the name of the groups that you recommend? And what's the ones that you run? The Appliance Apprentice and what else?
The appliance apprentice group, appliance pro talk, appliance technician group. They're all really good groups. The re-engineers group is one that's done by another guy, and that group is all about um things kind of unconventional repair, good quality repairs, but in more
Hacks.
so of a way, and it focuses on a lot on control board repairs, like actually breaking the control board out, desoldering the capacitors, desoldering. I went and did a class with the guy who runs the group. He's amazing.
What's the guy's
And
name?
he's,
I may know. Is his name Mike Carlson?
yeah, Mike Carlson. That's him.
I met Mike Carlson, man. I met Mike Carlson at ASTI Tampa. Yeah,
Yep.
he's out of California.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Carlson. You see how I'm talking about this industry? It's very small, but yeah, Mike, he's a great guy. He even had a
Super
class
good.
at ASTI teaching that solder board repair.
Yeah, I took that class.
Yeah, I didn't
Are
take
you
it.
doing any board repair?
I do at times, but I prefer to change the board if possible. If not available, oh, you better believe I'm gonna fix that board myself. But for the most part, if available, I tend to, change the board entirely.
So it's a lot of money in board repair. A lot
Oh,
of money.
yes, especially those KitchenAids that the board is in that little metal box. Oh, you can sell $500.
Yeah.
Okay, well, brother, listen. I want to wrap up tonight, man, and I want to let you know that it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
I hope we could see more of you. Please promote your YouTube one more time. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Just Taylor Cousins. I'll be perfectly honest. It used to say Appliance Guy Picker, and all of my emails that went out said Appliance Guy Picker. And I changed it to Taylor Cousins, and now I can't figure out how to change it back.
Don't worry, brother. We're going to get everybody here. Hey, listen, man. Thank you for being part of the show.
Thank you.
Man, it's been an honor, man. We hope to see more YouTube videos. I'm a fan, so I'm interviewing somebody that I'm like, wow. So thank you for everything. I'm gonna sign up to your Facebook groups again. Appliance Apprentice, Appliance
Group.
Pro Talk.
Yep. Appliance Technician Group. The other ones are other people's groups that I just enjoy going to. Appliance Apprentice Group is my group. If you're green,
Appliance
if you're an
Apprentice.
apprentice, if you're a 30-year tech, it doesn't matter. We got guys on there that have been doing it for 30, 40 years. And we got guys on there that literally are just getting started. And we got probably some guys on there that, are just interested in hearing about the field. But there's a lot of good information on there. I'm put a lot of effort into it, and I'm going to continue to. I've been slacking off here lately, but I got some moderators on there that are helping, and we'll post little quizzes and different scenarios and things for the guys to learn. And we're going to start doing some Zoom meetings, kind of like what we got going on here. We did our first one Sunday night, and there's just a ton of really, really good guys in that group, and good ladies. Do we have ladies
Amen.
in the group?
Shout out to the ladies. Ladies, if you're
Yeah.
watching, hit the like, subscribe, and share button.
Yep. And so I mean, I love it if one of my daughters became a badass appliance technician. So I'm all equal opportunity.
That's right, brother. Well, there y'all have it, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the share. Please go to Taylor Cousins on YouTube. Please go to Facebook, The Appliance Apprentice. Please show support for this man. This man is royalty. I've been following him from day one. I've seen his growth from zero to hero. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to send a special shout out to my brother. He's family now. Please show support to him. With all that said, brother TK, thanks for being part of the show tonight.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, and I'm a big fan of yours. Like I said, you're the one that got me interested in doing videos. I was like, man, this guy's cool. I like this guy. And
Thank
I
you,
remember watching, and I was just like, you know what? I'm a record a video because I was already doing videos. But you're the one that was like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing appliance videos because this is it's just riding around talking about appliances. It's what we do.
Brother, man. Hey, it's an honor, vice versa, man. I hope one day we can meet up. Are you going to ATSI in Vegas? No, no, no. That's Marcone. San Antonio.
When is that one?
Next February. Next January, I believe. Something like that.
Oh, I would definitely like to do that. I've been wanting to go to one of those for years, and every year I put it off, but I want to go to the one that you went to this year, the one you did the videos from. Is that the ASTI?
Yeah, that was in St. Pete, but the next one is in San Antonio.
Yeah, I want to go to that one. So hopefully we
I'll
can
see.
meet up there.
Oh, for sure. I'll see you there, man. Again, brother, thank you for everything you do. And there y'all have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Shop Talk, YouTube's premiere, off the clock, off the cuff, off of our rockers, and Lord knows what else we're off of. YouTube's premier appliance repair network. I'm your host with the most, Brother B, Brother TK. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Brother TK, peace, man. Love, peace, and harmony.
Peace, man.
Take,
Good seeing you.
take care, brother. Thank you.
You too.
All right.